one. Wow, the light. Okay. I don't know. The light looks weird. Oh well. This is my summer essentials video. I know the summer is not quite half over, but almost. I wasn't really sure what I would do for a summer essentials video at the beginning of the summer. I just kind of, I don't know, I guess I didn't really pay attention to what I do. Some of the stuff I'm about to show you is actually new to me. But as June went by, I started to think more and more like, I love this. Like, I should tell people about this, and I should tell people about this, and I should tell people. So, here it is, my summer essentials video. You still have almost 2 months left of summer, so it should still be useful, I hope. So let's get started. I'm going to start off with something that's important all year round, but we tend to talk about it during the summertime. I have found a sunblock that I'm willing to put on my face every day, which I always thought it was important to make sure I had sunblock on my face every day anyways, because I'm very pale, I burn easily. Have like, basically, I'm not a redhead, but I have redheaded skin, like I burn very easily, I freckle. I don't mind getting freckles, but the being sunburnt and knowing I'm like raising my risk of skin cancer and whatnot is not cool. And I know we need a little bit of sunlight in our lives to produce vitamin D, but we also need to protect our skin. So I figured, skin on my face is more delicate, thinner, and all of that stuff, so protect that all the time. And just like walking from the car to a store or into work or wherever, I can let my arms and whatever my legs are showing, produce the vitamin D for the day. And then if I'm going to be outside for more than that, I'll make sure everything's covered. So, I found one I really liked. I heard about it on YouTube and purchased a sample, which I thought was kind of pricey, and then fell in love with it. And then I realized the full price of the big bottle was $45, which it's not saying it's not worth it, because it actually is. It's just that my budget doesn't really justify spending that much on something I'm going to stick on my face. Even if it's every day, all at once. So I hunted around for something else that I was going to like as much and didn't find it. And I finally gave up and decided I'm just going to keep purchasing samples because they last a really long time. And that product is Suntegrity. It's their, as you can see, I used that one all up. I basically held on to this bottle to do this video. It's their 5-in-1 natural moisturizing face sunscreen. It treats, hydrates, protects, primes, and covers. It's broad spectrum SPF 30 for all skin types, vegan, non-greasy, non-toxic. The sample size is 0.25 ounces, so really great for travel. It's made in the United States, cruelty-free, obviously, so if it's vegan, it's going to be cruelty-free too. The bottle is recyclable. The active ingredient is zinc oxide, which is great because it's a physical sunscreen. And I know, like, supposedly chemical sunscreens are just fine for you. But recently I've just been thinking about, like, I don't know about putting chemicals on my skin all the time. Like, obviously there are a lot of, like, naturally occurring chemicals, and not all chemicals are bad, but, even just the way chemical sunscreens work versus physical ones, like, physical ones actually block the rays, where the chemical ones, like, start to convert, they like convert the rays, I think is how it works. And that's why chemical ones you have to apply so long before you're going to be sun exposure. Zinc oxide you put on and you can step right out the door. You do have to reapply this, but it doesn't break down as quickly, if that makes sense. Like if I'm, like I have it on my face right now, like I don't have to reapply it before I go outside because it hasn't been out in the sun to break down. Where with a chemical one, there's a good chance that it, like when I was still working, and hopefully will be working again, you know, I'd put this on in the morning, go to work, and when I'd leave work, I know I was still protected for the way home, where with a chemical one, I would probably need to reapply it. I'm not going to guarantee that. You'd probably need to check with experts, but that's the impression I've been left with. I'll just put it that way. So they have a clear version as well, but they also have like this tinted one. The tinted one is the one I heard about, so that's what I purchased the sample for, and I didn't really realize till after I fell in love with the tinted one that there was a clear one. I should have, when I ordered samples last, ordered a clear one to try it out, and also to maybe get my husband into wearing it, because he doesn't really, like, unless we're gonna be out, like, all day long, he doesn't really wear anything. Mine is in Fair, obviously the lightest shade. It doesn't really provide a whole lot of cover. I do feel like it evens out my skin a little bit, but not a whole lot. It's not that much coverage, which is good with me because if you've watched any of my other videos, I don't wear makeup every day, so I don't want to look like I have, you know, foundation on my face every day, because, or a BB cream, even though they kind of call this a BB cream in quotes on their website, because, you know, then I might feel like I need to put on some other stuff, or, you know, it might make me look a little too washed out, like there's no natural color in my cheeks. Not that I always have flushed cheeks, sometimes I look like walking death, but, you know, still, it lets my freckles through because it's not covering them up, and I like my freckles, which is why I like, tend to go for lighter coverage when I do wear foundation, because I want my freckles to show. What else can I say about this? Oh, I did listen to a talk by the founder of Suntegrity. She said that they have heard some anecdotal evidence that this might help with adult acne too. Not for me, because my acne comes from, not that I get a whole lot of it, thankfully, but it comes from stress and, like, hormonal cycle between the two, is why I break out. But if your adult acne comes from a zinc deficiency, which a lot of adult acne does come from, you know, anything you put on your skin can be absorbed through it and possibly wind up in your bloodstream, which is why we have to be so careful about what we put on our skin. But they've had a few people say, you know, my acne seems to be better since I've been using your product every day. Why would that be? And they figure that must be it. That's also part of the reason why they use zinc instead of titanium dioxide, is because since zinc is something that we do need to ingest for our, in our diets, as part of our diet, it's not going to matter much if, you know, it gets absorbed through your skin. It's not going to hurt you. Or titanium dioxide, it's supposed to be okay, but there has been a little bit of controversy about it, I guess. I haven't really heard about it, but aside from the fact that there apparently is occasionally a little bit of controversy about it. So the zinc oxide is great. They have 4 shades, I think. There's like a fair, a light, a medium, and fair, light, medium. The dark, I don't remember what the next darkest shade is called. Maybe tan. But they did used to have a darkest shade, like when I first ordered this sample, back before I started looking for something that I could, like I was like saving the last little bit of it because I loved it while I was trying out other products that I didn't like as much. And back then they had, which might be almost a year ago now, they had a darkest shade, but that got discontinued. So if you have very dark skin, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to use the clear version. I don't know why they discontinued it. I don't know if they just didn't have, maybe they didn't get the shade quite right and a lot of people were complaining about it. Maybe they didn't have a lot of people looking for it. So if you're interested in this and you have very dark skin but you would prefer the tinted version, I recommend contacting them and asking why they discontinued it and if there's any chance of them bringing it back. I don't know what they'll tell you. I didn't ask them. Since I'm, on the other shade spectrum, on the other side of the shade spectrum. Last time I ordered, which was a couple of months ago, when I caved and said, fine, I'm just going to order a couple samples at a time, it actually, I figured it out, it actually isn't more expensive that way, and it's these do last a long time, but they didn't have the big tubes. It came in a little pot, so you might wind up with a little pot instead of the tube, so don't be upset if you do. It just, instead of squirting it out, you're gonna pull it out of the pot like that. And I didn't say about the color. Thankfully, about it be like shearing out so much, the great thing about that is because they only have 4 shades, previously 5. Like, I have very cool-leaning skin. Like, it could have potentially been too golden for my skin, or too neutral, or neutral probably would have been better. I think it is kind of more of a neutral shade. So, it works better because it's not providing that much coverage. So that's actually a good thing, I think. They also have, I watched a video where somebody was talking about it, and they referred to it as like a tinted lip balm, but really super pigmented. I think they actually call it a lipstick on their website, but it must feel more like a tinted lip balm, which is kind of nice. Well, they came out with that, with zinc oxide for your lips. They don't have anything clear yet because they said it was coming out kind of like this whitish bluish color, because they were going to make that so guys could wear it too, or, people like me who maybe don't want lipstick on all the time. You can order a sample of that too. They'll send you a sample of all the shades. I didn't get it because there were a couple of shades that looked like my kind of color and a couple that definitely did not, and I was like, not this time. So if I ever do order the samples, I'll do a video on those, on the lipsticks. But that brings me to my next product, because I need to stop babbling about Suntegra D. I really love this, can you tell? And speaking of lips, I'm going to move on to my new favorite. I didn't really have a favorite before, so maybe that's it. But SPF 15 for your lips. It's from 100% Pure. This is what the packaging looks like. And this is what this looks like. So it's very white looking in the package. They do say on their website it doesn't turn your lips white, or leave a whitish cast, which apparently a lot of these zinc oxide ones do, and it's zinc oxide again, which is great. Like my other ones that I'm trying to use up are chemical ones. Like, probably not a good thing that I'm swallowing some of those, but I hate to throw them out because it's wasteful. But I'm already starting to use this a bit. I'll put a little bit on. You have to kind of put it on more lightly. If you notice, there is a slight whitish cast. So apparently they're counting on you putting it on very lightly. And that for me was like lightly, because I cake on lip balm. I really shouldn't put as much on as I do, I'm sure, but I really layer it on. Like I normally would like have gone back and forth like I did there, and then do that on the top too instead of running my lips together. So for me, this definitely looks whitish. that's the only downside to this. It has a really nice scent to it, really nice flavor. It's sweet mint lip balm. I just kind of shrug off the whitish cast, or I try to put it on more lightly than that. There's a couple times I've put on tinted lip balm all over top of it to kind of counteract it. But if you put it on the way they intend you to, I'm sure there's not a whitish cast. But apparently I'm not the only person having that problem, because some of the reviews on the website, before I even ordered it, because I read the reviews, were saying, you know, there is a little bit of a whitish cast, but I just put my lipstick on top of it. So if you wear lipstick pretty regularly, not going to be a problem. If you're like me and you just want lip balm, try to put it on very lightly. But zinc oxide doesn't matter if you swallow any, because you need zinc in your diet. And another product from 100% Pure, which is a great summer essential, is their eucalyptus body scrub. Actually, any of their body scrubs would be good. This is a salt-based one. I actually got this, like the first ingredient is sea salt from French sea salts. But this is I got around Black Friday. The reason why I still have it is because I tried using a little bit over the winter, and because it's salt based as opposed to the first body scrub I got from them, which was sugar based. In the winter time, I'm much more inclined to have little cuts on my hands because my skin is dried out and it's more likely to get injured. Plus, sometimes my skin's just so dry, it gets a little raw. I try to take care of it, but my hands always wind up a little worse for wear during the winter. And it was stinging while I was trying to use it. I was like, my hands would sting. So I kind of put it away till summertime. But this is fantastic for the season in which you shave your legs the most. So what I like to do is suds up my hair. I actually use a shampoo that I like to leave in for a few minutes, and I don't really use conditioner during the summer because it weighs down my hair. I just use it during the winter time when it dries, when my hair gets dried out. Everything gets dried out in the winter. So I put the shampoo in my hair, sets it up, then I leave it there, and I use this under my arms and on my legs, pretty much anywhere, you know, if I'm going to be shaving, I do that. And then I rinse it off, and it leaves like this kind of slightly oily residue, which is fine because it's moisturizing your skin more, and it works alongside of my shave cream. So when I do go and shave, it's great. And then, you know, I rinse out my hair. If it was winter time and I was using like a sugar-based scrub, which I don't use scrubs that much during the winter, I just don't. Probably should, but not salt-based ones. I would, you know, I might do my underarms and then rinse out my hair and put on conditioner and then scrub my legs. So anyways, then I do like the rest of my shower. I wash my face, I wash my body, which does wash off some of the residue, but not all of it. And then I will shave, and it just really helps protect my legs a little bit more, that little bit of residue left in addition to the shave cream. It also helps make things smoother, and if I do shave without doing this, like I notice, like my skin will get a little irritated afterwards. Like not right afterwards, but like the next day, like I'll be like, oh, my shin's really itchy. It's because I didn't get rid of all that dead skin, I'm assuming. So this works great. These are expensive, full price, for me at least. Though if you can afford these full price, I recommend you get them. They're definitely worth it. I mean, if you look at the ingredient list, like, granted they use like the scientific terminology for some of this stuff, but then they put in parentheses like what we'd call it, and it's like, oh, I recognize pretty much all of this. And it's made in the United States, it's cruelty free, it's vegan, 100% natural. That's why it's called 100% pure. All of their products are like that. But if you can afford to buy this full price, I recommend it because they need people buying stuff full price, if at all possible. If you can't, like me, I recommend watching for sales. Like, I got this for $10, which was like an amazing sale on Black Friday. The first scrub I got from them, which was a strawberry body sugar scrub, was on clearance. So it wasn't quite that cheap, but it was a pretty good deal. And it's a big jar. It lasts a long time. Of course, this one's lasted even longer because I was holding on to it and not using it. And you know, you don't have to feel bad about washing everything nasty down the drain. You don't have to worry about it not dissolving because it's made of salt, or if you get one of their sugar scrubs made of sugar, it does actually dissolve. It's not going to, like those little microbeads that are going to wind up in the ocean and not dissolve at all because they're plastic. So that's fantastic, and the container is recyclable after you empty it. Plus, of course, you can also repurpose it if you want. I think I just recycled the sugar scrub one though. So that's fantastic. I really recommend that, and it works very well. Speaking of shaving your legs in the shower, I like to use Kiss My Face 4-in-1 Moisture Shave. It's also a more natural brand. They've actually changed the pump. It's actually blue now, but this bottle, when I bought it and took it home and then tried to, the pump wouldn't work, and thankfully I hadn't thrown the old pump out, so I just switched it. I like the Lavender Shea the most. So does my husband, because he uses this when he's home, when he's not off for work, because he's not always, sometimes he has to spend the night away. So when he's home, he likes to use this for shaving too. And it works quite nicely. They do have a mint something scent. It's good too. We just both prefer the Lavender Shea a little bit more, which, since I tend to shower at night, not always, sometimes I shower during the day, like due to various circumstances, but I tend to shower at night, so I think the lavender is a little bit relaxing too. And I already described to you how I do that, you know, the scrub, and then, you know, so I don't need to talk about that. And this lasts a long time too. It does last a long time. It's 11 floral ounces, and you don't need a whole lot of it. Like, usually, like, one full squirt, I can cover my entire leg. Like, not both legs, but one of my legs. A very little squirt will do the underarms, so it lasts a long time. And also, speaking of the shower, I have mixed feelings about this product. I just started using it this summer. I just found it. It's Yes to Tomatoes Clear Skin. I wanted something, because I do get a little bit of acne on my chest and my back, and sometimes my lower back too. And I don't really worry about it during the winter because everything's covered up, and usually they aren't ones that hurt anyways. I only really mind acne that you can't see if it hurts, because sometimes it does. The ones on my face, at least. But during the summertime, when more of my skin is exposed, I kind of want to keep that under control. And, you know, the Neutrogena version, store brand version of that, you know, it's not very eco-friendly. I'm pretty sure it's not cruelty-free. At least I've reached the conclusion that I need to assume that if it's not, I don't know for sure that it's cruelty-free. It probably isn't, unfortunately. And it's, I believe it's made in the United States too. So not made with slave labor, hopefully. With love from California, it says. The bottle's recyclable. It says it's paraben free, it's 97% natural. But the two things I'm not crazy about is I was reading through the ingredient list after I bought it. Probably should have done that beforehand, but I didn't. And it does have sodium cocoa sulfate in it. And I believe sulfates are not really a great thing to be rinsing down the drain. A lot of things are labeled sulfate free anymore because it's not really good for the environment. It's possible this particular sulfate is okay and that's why they have it in there. I don't know, but I don't know. Like, I haven't done my research, but I am questioning that. And it has fragrance in it, which I mean, I don't mind there being a little bit of fragrance. Like, this is lavender, that's eucalyptus, but those are like stress relieving fragrances, and it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't actually have like, yeah, they've got lavender flower oil in this, and like there's like eucalyptus oil in this. Like, this is like a not a natural fragrance. This is just, it's perfume at the end of the ingredients, and it's kind of like that fake florally scent. Thankfully it goes away pretty quickly. It's not an awful scent, but it's not crazy. I'm not crazy about it. Like, not that I wanted to step out of my shower smelling like tomatoes or anything like that, but they also have like strawberry leaf extract in here, and I don't know. Maybe maybe if they don't put the perfume in there, it stinks, and that's why they put it in there. I don't know for sure, but I could have done without the perfume. But aside from that, it is working well at clearing up body acne. So if anybody has any suggestions for body wash that's eco-friendly and cruelty-free, which tends to be cruelty-free if it's eco-friendly too. Sure, not always, but tends to be. That helps clear up body acne. I'd love to hear about it, but in the interim, this works. And the last item I have, because I know I've been talking for a really long time about everything, I apologize, is bug spray, because, you know, we're spending more time outdoors. I know they keep trying to say that DEET is not really that bad for you, provided you aren't using that much of it, but and there's not that much evidence connecting it to cancer, except, you know, there's enough that it's scary. So and I know Zika's scary too, but natural bug sprays do protect you from mosquitoes. I mean, if they're protecting me, like if you stick me out in the yard with no bug spray, you know, for any length of time that bugs are out, I'm bit up. I'm kind of like a bug magnet. So if I'm protected, everyone else should be too. And I have a couple different, actually I have several different examples. I don't know if this one is still made anymore. I have like a very little bit of it left. I really just need to use it up and recycle the glass bottle. But it's called Sun Feather Bug Off Herbal Bug Repellent. It's got citronella oil, rosemary oil, geranium oil, and an olive oil base. I bought this several years ago. The website is www.sunsoap.com. I bought it in a little gift shop. It worked quite well. I haven't used it in a couple of years because I got down to that little tiny bit at the bottom, and I bought another natural bug spray and wound up using it, and it's just been sitting around. I really should use it up and recycle it. But it's possible that this is still available. It's a nice spray. At least at the time, it was kind of running expensive for the amount that you get. But it worked quite nicely at the time, at least. This is probably my favorite one in terms of how it smells. I don't really have hardly any left of it in it. It's EcoSmart Organic Insect Repellent. I bought it a few years ago. It wasn't that expensive. I don't know if it's still available though, because like I said, I bought it a few years ago, and The website is www.ecosmart.com, so it's worth looking up. I think the reason why I like how it smells is they have a very little bit of wintergreen oil in it, and I think that's what really smells good. But the active ingredients are geranol, rosemary oil, cinnamon oil, lemongrass oil, and then it also has like propanol and isopropyl myristate, which is probably the carrier agents, and then the wintergreen oil, which adds the flavor. Not flavor, you're not eating it, the scent. So I really like how it smells. Like I said, I'm not sure if this is available anymore. I haven't really seen it anywhere, but I'm not really looking that much because I had 2 more to show you. So clearly I have plenty of bug spray I need to use up. But there's not a whole lot of this left. This one I know you can find everywhere, though they did change the bottle, so it looks a bit differently now. Is Cutter Natural Insect Repellent. The ingredient list is pretty close. Geranol's the top active ingredient again. It has soybean oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, potassium sorbate, inert ingredients, and then it also has vanillin, glycerin, xanthan gum, and citric acid, which are the inert ingredients. Let me see if it says anything else on the back. No. But you should be able to find this in most stores, though not all of them. I have noticed that some stores have Cutter insect repellents, but they're the DEET ones. In fact, my mom was really impressed with this because I have more of it left than the EcoSmart one. And so, like, we had my family over at our house, and they were using this, and my mom was really impressed and wanted to get it because she didn't want DEET stuff. And she wound up buying, she assumed all the Cutter ones were natural, I guess. I wasn't very clear about that. And she picked up a Cutter Skinsations one. I think it doesn't have a whole lot of DEET in it, but it still does. And when I didn't realize at first when she showed me that she got it, sorry, my nose is a little itchy, I didn't really look hard at it. Like, I just assumed, wow, they really changed the bottle, which it turns out they did, because I finally saw this in the store, and they did change how it looked. But then I got a good look at it another time I was over at her house, and I was like, I don't want to tell her she got the wrong thing. Like, at this point, it's pretty sure it's too long, she can't return it. So, she's not going to find out by watching this, because she doesn't watch my videos, so, but I felt really bad, so learn from my mother's mistake. Make sure it says natural, because they do have other ones. I think Off might have finally came out with a natural one. Or one of the other, that doesn't matter if you see this, because it looks differently now. But make sure it says natural. I just realized you couldn't see that. You probably couldn't see this either. I'm sure they've changed how this looks, because this is at least 3 years old, so. And then the last one I have, which I haven't used a whole lot of because it keeps leaking, is Burt's Bees, which is a nice one. I'm sure not all of their bottles leak. I'm sure I just had bad luck. As you can see, look at how much came out of it. It has castor oil, rosemary oil, lemongrass oil, cedar oil, peppermint oil, citronella oil, clove oil, and geranium oil. And the inert ingredients are soybean oil and vitamin E. I love Burt's Bees products. I haven't really gotten to use this enough to say whether I love it or not. It works well. I have used it. I have the most of it left because I was using everything else because this leaks. I'm gonna have to start using this up for the rest of the summer because I'm almost out of everything else. But Burt's Bees, and now I have hair sticking to it. I wonder if it's starting to leak through the bag now. It feels kind of sticky. Ugh. Anyways, so the Burt's Bees is an option. I'm sure there's lots of other ones out there, but, you know, don't feel like you have to get the DEET kinds to protect you from the Zika virus or bug bites. You really don't. And obviously you can use citronella candles. There's even recipes out there for making your own candles that aren't actually citronella but will keep bugs away. They're kind of more essential oil based like these are. And also I wanted to show you an option too. You can find, this one is called Buggables Mosquito Repellent Band, but you can find a lot of these different brands around. They're kind of a little squiggly bracelet in there. It's not open, so I can't pull it out and show it to you, but it only keeps for like a week or so after you've opened it. These ones have resealable bags, which is great. And they're DET free as well. This is Geranol lemongrass oil and citronella oil. And then there's some ingredients, of course. The downside to this is it's a little plastic bracelet that you're going to wind up throwing out. It's not recyclable as far as I know. But they do say offer for recycling if available. I have a couple that I was just about to throw out because I used them earlier this summer and then they sat in the bag and I was like, at this point they're not useful anymore. I need to throw them out. Maybe I'll toss them in the recycling bin. So that would be nice. So maybe you can recycle these. I didn't think you could. Huh. But I will use a bug spray, and then if I'm expecting it to be pretty buggy, I'll also maybe put one each of these like one around an ankle, one around the other one, or maybe one on an ankle and one on a wrist, just as added protection. I will also reapply those if I've been outside a very long time, just in case I've started sweating some of it off. But I really haven't had bugs bite me with any of this stuff. And like I said, I am the one that everyone comes and bites, the bugs. I swear I have like all you can eat buffet written on me in bug language. So don't worry about the natural products not working, because if they're working for me, they have to work for everybody else. And don't mess around with DET. Yes, maybe it's not that dangerous in small doses, which is part of the reason why I haven't broken it to my mom that she got the wrong one, because for all the more she and my sister and anybody at their house is going to be using it, it's not going to be that big of a deal probably. But to be on the safe side, I think it's better to use the non-cancer causing agents. So those are my summer essentials. I realized I didn't really have any makeup, and a lot of people like include makeup, but you might have noticed, despite the fact that I started this channel as kind of a makeup channel, I haven't only done that. And whenever I do makeup, I talk about how much like I don't wear it that often. So but if you have any summer essentials that are similar to like what I suggested, or different even, like let me know. I'd be great to hear about it. And I'm going to stop babbling at you now because this is probably a super long video. Again, I really need to learn to not babble for these. I apologize. Have a good day. Bye.